welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain along with the gods. This movie tells the story of 3 Grim Reapers who escort a man to the afterlife and decide his fate based on what he had done when he was alive. Will he be born in the process of reincarnation? Let's find out in Along with the Gods. Along with the Gods begins when a massive fire breaks out in a building. A firefighter named Kim Za-hong is trying to save a child trapped in the blaze. Za-hong manages to jump out of the building, but the rope he was using caught fire and broke, causing him to fall from a height. Luckily, the child's life was saved, but Za-hong dies as a result of the incident. Za-hong then meets a man named Hee-won-muk and a girl named Lee Dao-chun who claims to be Grim Reapers who will escort him to the afterlife during 7 trials in the afterlife in 49 days. Arriving at the gates of the afterlife, Za-hong meets with Gang-rim, which is Hee-won-muk and Dao-chun's superior. Gang-rim is no ordinary Grim Reaper. He had guided 47 noble spirits during the trial and managed to have them all reincarnated in the past century. When Dao-chun enters Za-hong's name at the gate of the afterlife, she looks overjoyed to find out that Za-hong is a noble spirit. Dao-chun tells Za-hong that noble spirits have a greater and quicker chance of reincarnation than other spirits. Even so, Za-hong still looks confused by his sudden death and having to leave his family forever. The first trial, Za-hong has to go to his Hell of Murder. Arriving at the Hell of Murder, Za-hong is told that the spirits who directly or indirectly have killed living beings while still alive will be judged in this place, and if found guilty, they will be immediately dropped into a very hot crater of fire. Za-hong says that he has never killed anyone in his life. However, according to the death prosecutor, he once left one of his colleagues trapped under the rubble during a fire. Because in the end his partner dies, he is charged with indirect murder. However, Gang-rim defends him by saying that Za-hong's intention to leave his partner was not because he wanted to save himself but because his partner told him to prioritize the safety of civilians. After rescuing 8 others, Za-hong tries to return to save his comrade but is held back by his other comrades as the building collapses. After confirming Za-hong's innocence, the murder hell judge frees him. After that, Za-hong and his 3 guardian Grim Reapers continued their journey along the River of Laziness. On the way, Za-hong asks them why they want to help him reincarnate quickly. Dao-chun reveals that the Grim Reaper can also be reincarnated into whatever they want, if they manage to guide 49 reincarnated noble spirits within the last century. Dao-chun also says that Za-hong doesn't have to worry because he's a noble spirit, so his chances of passing each hell's trial and being reincarnated will be much greater than that of an ordinary spirit. Za-hong and the Grim Reapers arrive at the Hell of Indolence. Before the judge of Hell Laziness and the death prosecutors, Dao-chun exposes Za-hong's tenacity and perseverance during his lifetime as well as his high dedication to his work as a firefighter. The judge was touched and very impressed by Za-hong, who was willing to work so hard since he was young. However, when the judge finds out that the reason he did all this is just to get money, the judge immediately feels very angry. The judge then sentenced him to being ground up alive by a giant grinding machine. But Gang-rim and Hee-won-muk don't stay silent. They try to defend Za-hong by saying that he is willing to work hard day and night, even to the point of not having enough rest time for himself so that he can raise money for his brother's law school education fees as well as the medical expenses of his very sick mother. After learning about this, the judge of the Hell of Laziness was deeply moved because Za-hong was willing to sacrifice himself to support his family. The judge then dropped the charge and acquitted him. Za-hong and his 3 Grim Reapers make their way through the forest on their way to Hell's next trial. On the way, Gang-rim tells Za-hong to cooperate more closely with each trial and asks him not to talk recklessly. Hee-won-muk then adds that they just want him to be reincarnated quickly, and when he is successfully reincarnated, he will get the privilege, which is one chance to communicate with his mother through dreams. Hearing this, Za-hong became even more excited. However, on the way to the Hell of Deceit, Za-hong and the Grim Reapers come under attack from a swarm of Hell soldiers. Not only that, the situation in the afterlife began to change. Gang-rim says that this change indicates that one of Za-hong's family members has died an unnatural death and has become a vengeful spirit. Gang-rim and Hee-won-muk try to fight off the attacks of the Hell Ghosts, but because there are too many of them, Hee-won-muk is desperate to destroy the rocks above them to stop the movement of the Hell Ghosts. Afterwards, Gang-rim orders Hee-won-muk and Dao-chun to escort Za-hong to the next trial, while he'll investigate what's going on in the world. While Gang-rim is trying to catch the vengeful spirit that resides in Za-hong's house, Hee-won-muk and the others meet King Yomer, who orders Dao-chun to contact Gang-rim and ask him to immediately resolve the issue with the vengeful spirit that has disrupted the balance of the afterlife. King Yomer is the strongest god of death and also the ruler of all hell who will judge Za-hong in the final trial. Long story short, Za-hong and Grim Reapers have finally arrived at the Hell of Dishonesty. In court this time, Zahong can't dodge because he has been proven to have written 98 letters containing lies that he wrote in 15 years. Hee-won-muk and Dok-chun are confused about defending Zahong because the evidence is undeniable and Gang-rim isn't there to help them either. But then, Gang-rim, who is investigating a vengeful spirit related to Zahong, supernaturally connects with Dok-chun from the human world to defend Zahong. Through Dok-chun, Gang-rim states that Zahong wrote many lies to his mother to comfort her, who was very ill at the time, so that his mother would not have to worry about anything and allow her to focus on her health alone. Meanwhile, the reason Zahong wrote a letter of lies to his late colleague's daughter was so that the girl would truly understand that her father died while carrying out a noble task. In fact, the letter from Zahong was able to help the girl overcome her loss of father figure. Hearing Dok-chun's defense of Zahong, the dishonesty-hell judge ruled that Zahong's lies had not been to benefit himself but to protect others. He is free from punishment and is allowed to proceed to the next trial. Meanwhile, in the human world, Gang-rim finally learns that Zahong's younger brother, Su-hong, has become a vengeful spirit. Gang-rim manages to find out that Su-hong was accidentally killed while serving in the military by his colleague Dong-yeon. Su-hong's life could actually have been saved if he received timely medical treatment. But their boss, Lieutenant Park, instead orders Dong-yeon to bury Su-hong in the forest. Not wanting to dampen Zahong's enthusiasm for the trial, Gang-rim is forced to lie by saying that it's not his family members who are the vengeful spirits. Zahong resumes his journey with Hee-won-muk and Dok-chun. They go through the hell of injustice and the hell of betrayal with ease because Zahong has never committed treason and been unfair in his life. However, Zahong finally finds out that Su-hong has died. On the other hand, Gang-rim, who is investigating the location of Su-hong's body, meets Hee-won-muk, who asks him to destroy Su-hong's body immediately because the vengeful spirit makes it difficult for them to escort Zahong. Hee-won-muk and Gang-rim get into a fight because Gang-rim insists on capturing Su-hong's spirit despite violating the laws of the afterlife. Gang-rim, who finally finds out that Su-hong doesn't hold a grudge against his brother, but against Dong-yeon and Lieutenant Park, manages to thwart his attempt to kill Dong-yeon. However, when Dong-yeon tries to commit suicide, Su-hong asks Gang-rim to save him, and in return, he agrees to cooperate and follows Gang-rim into the afterlife. In the afterlife, Zahong and Grim Reapers jump into the rock pit and finally arrive at the Hell of Violence. In the Hell of Violence, Zahong has tried to beat Su-hong when they were children when Su-hong was suffering from malnutrition. After the beating incident, he immediately ran away from home and never came back. Even he never apologized to his brother and mother until finally he died. Since he can't come up with any defense, he's immediately found guilty and will be punished. Unable to defend Zahong, Hee-won-muk immediately contacts Gang-rim in the human world for help. Gang-rim then has Dok-chun plead with the violent hell judge to conduct a joint trial in the next court. In exchange, if Zahong is found guilty in the next court, then he will receive a double sentence. To reassure the judge, Dok-chun then says that the guardians of the Grim Reaper are willing to forfeit their privilege to reincarnate at will if Zahong is indeed found guilty. The request is approved and Zahong resumes his journey for the final trial. While on his way to the Hell of Filial Impiety, Zahong reveals that, due to poverty, he intended to kill his mother and brother, then commit suicide. But his intentions were discovered by Su-hong, who tried to stop him. Zahong then takes all his anger out on Su-hong by beating him. After that, he decides to run away from home because he feels so guilty. He chooses not to burden his family and dedicates his life to making his mother and brother happy. For 15 years, he dared not see his family and only sent letters. Meanwhile, when Zahong and Grim Reapers are again under attack from the ghosts of hell, Gang-rim and Su-hong arrive at the military base and witness Lieutenant Park's mistreatment of Su-hong's mother, holding him accountable. Seeing his mother being treated harshly, Su-hong was furious and turned back into a vengeful spirit and attacked the military base with a huge tornado that blew everything away. Gang-rim tries to save the people from Su-hong's rampage. Hee-won-muk then opens the gate that divides the human world and the afterlife to help Gang-rim stop Su-hong's rampage. Gang-rim tries to convince Su-hong that everything he did when he was a vengeful spirit will directly impact Zahong's situation, who is struggling to atone for all his sins and mistakes in the afterlife. After realizing this, Su-hong began to turn calmer and was no longer in vengeful spirit mode. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, Zahong, accompanied only by Dok-chun, undergoes the final trial in the Hell of Filial Impiety, with King Yomer acting directly as judge. Because Zahong had planned the murder of his family, King Yomer immediately tried him with a guilty verdict. Dok-chun tries desperately to defend Zahong by explaining that he did all that because of his suffering. But in the end, Zahong gave up and punished himself by dedicating his life to his family. Hearing Dok-chun's defense, King Yomer was even more furious. He revealed that on the night of Zahong's attempted murder and suicide 15 years ago, his mother was awake and decided to let her son kill her because she realized that she was only a burden to her children. But when Za Hong finally decided to leave home, his mother buried the bitter memories of that night deep in her heart and hoped that one day Za Hong would return home and they could be together again as a whole family. Za Hong, who had just found out that his mother had been hiding this fact all along, immediately burst into tears and showed his deep regret. He says that he deserves severe punishment for his great mistake and sin against his mother. He then begged King Yomer to give him one chance to speak to his mother to apologize to her directly. But the angry King Yomer instead blames him for never having the courage to meet his mother and apologize while still alive. When Za Hong is about to be punished, his mother suddenly hears his voice in the afterlife. It turns out that then, with the help of Gang Rim and Heen Won Muk, Su Hong enters his mother's dream to tell her that he graduated from law school and is now a judge. His mother is very happy to know that her son has now become a successful person. Su Hong tells his mother that after Za Hong's departure 15 years ago, his older brother didn't dare go home because he felt bad for them. However, Za Hong always sends money for his mother's medical expenses as well as Su Hong's law school fees. Not only that, Su Hong finally finds out that his mother has forgiven Za Hong for the events of the night of the attempted murder. Su Hong then apologizes to his mother for having to leave her, but the mother says that he is innocent and she must apologize to her children for not being able to do much to make her two children she loves so much. Seeing this very touching incident, King Yomer then stopped the trial and released Za Hong from all charges because sins that have been forgiven in the living world cannot be tried in the afterlife. Za Hong was allowed to be reincarnated right then and there. He also thanks Dao Chun and everyone there, including Gang Rim, Heen Won Muk and Su Hong for helping him free from the guilt that has haunted him for years. Afterwards, Gang Rim sends a package from Za Hong and the apology letter he wrote before he died to his mother. Gang Rim then tells Heen Won Muk that Su Hong is the 49th spirit they will escort to reincarnate. Based on Heen Won Muk's information, Gang Rim realizes that King Yomer has interfered in his investigation of Su Hong by disguised as Heen Won Muk and orders him to burn Su Hong's body. Gang Rim decides to ask King Yomer about it directly. The film ends by showing Gang Rim, Heen Won Muk, Dao Chun and Su Hong who are in the afterlife and are about to meet King Yomer, engaging in battle with the king's bodyguards.